Have you ever wondered how long the tracks we drive on in Mario Kart games actually are? It's weird, when you're playing they all kinda feel roughly the same length, except for obvious outliers on both ends of the spectrum, like the very short Baby Park, or the so long the entire course is divided in laps courses, like Mount Wario and Mario Kart World's Rainbow Road. But of course they really aren't. While all cores in the entire series are clearly designed to be roughly the same length, the key word here is roughly. Because even within the boundaries Nintendo appears to have set for what qualifies as the perfect length, there is a lot of wiggle room, and today I want to look at where the courses fall exactly, especially those that stand out. We can, however, not rely on the most logical real-world method to measure distance, which is obviously length measurements, so meters and feet. Only one game has ever had those confirmed, which was Mario Kart 64. Its manual lists the track distances in meters for every single course in the game, revealing for example that Moo Moo Farm is the shortest track in the game, measuring in at 527 meters or 1,729 feet. This is about half of the length of the average real-life competitive kart track, which, interestingly enough, the vast majority of the game's tracks fall under, even though most look as if they're much more elaborate than real-life circuits would be. Only 4 of Mario Kart 64's courses are longer than 1 kilometer or 0.6 miles, which is roughly the size of a real-life kart circuit. 2 of those courses are almost exactly that size, being Toad's Turnpike and Royal Raceway. But the 2 other ones, they're significantly longer. Wario Stadium is listed as 1.5 kilometers, roughly 0.9 miles, which is 3 times as long as Moo Moo Farm. But the absolute king of this shouldn't be surprised. It's Rainbow Road, a course that to this day holds the record of being the longest free track course in Mario Kart history. According to the manual, it is exactly 2 kilometers or 1.2 miles long, twice the size of a real-life kart circuit, but still smaller than a real-life Formula 1 circuit. But as crystal clear as these Mario Kart 64 distances pretend to be, the rest of the games require a different method of analysis. After some deliberation, I think the best way of trying to get a sense of what the longest and shortest tracks are is by looking at duration rather than distance. And the best way to measure that is by looking at the most neutral times the games have on offer, the staff ghosts. After all, they are a relatively balanced group of drivers that actually drive the main course, which world records don't always do, while not necessarily trying to cut every corner. Remember, it's not about the actual time driven here anyway, it's about the differences between courses. Now, I recognize this method isn't perfect, especially when comparing across games, since every Mario Kart game has a slightly different speed level to it, but when comparing identical courses across games, I was actually surprised by how consistent the staff ghost times were in plenty of cases. For example, Shroom Ridge has a ghost time of 2 minute 5 in DS and 2 minute 9 in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Wario's Gold Mine goes from 2 minute 19 in Wii to again 2 minute 19 in Wii U's Mario Kart 8 to then 2 minute 22 in Deluxe. Neo Bowser City is at 2 minute 11 in Mario Kart 7, 2 minute 9 in Base 8 and then 2 minute 13 in Deluxe. And Sky High Sundae has a 1 second difference between Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and World. Point being, while it's not 1-to-1, these staff ghost times are consistent enough to be used as a unit of measurement, I would say, especially with a severe lack of better options. Alright, with that said, let's take a look at some standouts, starting on the longer end of the spectrum. I already told you that N64 Rainbow Road is the longest free lap track Mario Kart has ever seen. But seeing as that it is currently, as of Mario Kart 8, not a free lap track anymore, at least with identical laps, I think we need some new candidates. Purely from a duration perspective, the longest staff ghost time is courtesy of chronologically the most recent track in the entire series. Mario Kart World's Rainbow Road has a staff ghost time of 4 minutes and 21 seconds, which is nearly twice as long as like 99% of the rest of the courses in the franchise. However, it is also 4 laps long, which does give it an advantage, and divided by 4, it is actually not the longest track on a per lap basis. That honor by 7 milliseconds goes to another Rainbow Road, being Mario Kart Double Dash's version. Whereas Mario Kart World's final track is the only course to ever hit 4 minutes for its staff ghost, GCN Rainbow Road is the only track to be within the 3 minute range, coming in at 3:16. This is truly a standard track by all accounts, it has 3 laps and they're all identical, But the fact this course is one of the few that have never returned makes it a little hard to verify this number versus other games. It should be said that on the Double Dash website, Rainbow Road was advertised as the longest track in Mario Kart, so it was also designed to at least be very long. Furthermore, it's not like this staff ghost is messing around trying to waste time or make the challenge of beating it easier. It by all accounts does a standard run of the course. If anything, it's pretty fast and difficult to beat. As far as free lap tracks go, this has to be the winner. And while not literally the longest, it also has the longest laps in general. But okay, what if we rule out the Rainbow Roads? It's clear they're meant to be a cherry on top, the long-winded climax. But what regular courses take the longest to traverse? Seeing as I already told you, GCN and World Rainbow Road are the only tracks to ever crack 3 minutes, we need to look at courses in the 2-minute range, of which there are so many. However, only one has ever cracked 250, so that can be considered the absolute top of the non-Rainbow Road tracks. And it feels very fitting that this track is another one that comes very late in the game and is recurring as well, being N64 Bowser's Castle with a staff time to beat of 2 minutes 55 in Mario Kart Wii. Weirdly enough though, Mario Kart 64's manual puts the distance of Bowser's Castle at 777 meters, or 0.48 miles, which is just enough to crack that game's top 5, let alone the rest of the series. Now, the Wii version of this track is not a one-to-one recreation, it is changed, so they're not completely identical, but looking at these differences, I think you can definitely call the distances of Mario Kart 64's manual into question. I mean, the fact this is the only game to feature them does make it feel more like a cute little factoid rather than something meant to be taken as a cold hard fact. What can I say, the numbers don't lie, and while of course the speed levels are different per game, even within Mario Kart Wii alone, the Mario Kart 64 manual doesn't hold up. According to this booklet, DK's Jungle Parkway is longer than Bowser's Castle, and yet in Mario Kart Wii, the staff ghost clears DK's course in a time that's faster by about 20 seconds. That's not within an acceptable margin. When we go another step lower into the 240 range, we still do not shake off the recurring theme tracks, as only Wii Bowser's Castle and Rainbow Road fall somewhere here, meaning the entire top 5 of the longest tracks in Mario Kart history consist of either Rainbow Road or Bowser's Castle tracks. It's only when you look another step lower at the 230 range that the number of tracks really widens. 8 tracks fall into this range, the longest being GBA Bowser's Castle, the way it appears in Mario Kart Wii. Yes, I am serious, even the 6th longest track of the series is a Bowser's Castle track. Okay, so what is number 7 then? Well, with a winning lead of 330 milliseconds, that is Dandelion Depths from Mario Kart World, which is ever so slightly longer than Double Dash's DK Mountain. I will say though that DK Mountain deserves props and recognition for being a frequently returning track while being among the longest in every game it appears in. So it truly is one of the longest tracks in Mario Kart history. Whereas Dandelion Depths might return in 20 years and suddenly be a bit shorter, if you get what I mean. That has happened before. Koopa Cave, for example, has a very long staff ghost in Mario Kart Wii, but is significantly shorter in Mario Kart 7 and 8 Deluxe, whereas Maple Treeway is actually shorter in Wii, but longer in its returning appearances. So what about the reverse? What are the shortest tracks in Mario Kart history? Well, obviously the shortest by lap average is Baby Park, at around 11.1 seconds per lap. I cannot ever see that being beaten, but because Baby Park has 7 laps in total, we actually drive for longer than we do on several other tracks, most of which hail from Super Mario Kart for SNES. Ghost Valley 2, which returns in Wii, as well as Mario Circuit 1 and Koopa Beach 2, both from DS, have staff ghost data that clocks in under 1 minute. The shortest of these is Mario Circuit 1 at 50 seconds, which means it's not only the first Mario Kart track in history, it is also the shortest free lap course in Mario Kart history. It's a record I don't think will be beaten anytime soon, especially when you keep in mind that Mario Kart World combined this track with several other Mario circuits to create a new, longer track. That new track is still easily the shortest in Mario Kart World, but it definitely doesn't come close to the award-winning shortness of the SNES original. But once again, let's say we don't count the SNES courses. What is then the shortest full track in the series? Well, that question has really only one answer. There is zero competition for that title. Yoshi Falls from Mario Kart DS is the shortest track that hails from, let's call it the non-2D sprite-based Mario Kart games. The original DS version actually also clocks in under a minute, at 57 seconds, but because it takes the staff ghost 1 minute 9 to beat the track in Mario Kart 7, on average it comes out just above the 1 minute mark. It is still easily the shortest time for any non-SNES track. Like I said, there isn't even real competition. The next closest is probably Wii's Luigi's Circuit, coming in at 1 minute 19, which is quick, sure, but not even a remote challenger for Yoshi Falls title with asterisks. But the real kicker in all this, New York Minute, it takes more than a minute. That's what Nintendo doesn't want you to know. Did you expect the longest and shortest tracks? Share it in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like and subscribing. And if you really want to support me, you can now become a channel member to get all kinds of fun perks and help me keep bringing these videos to your doorstep every week. For now, thanks for watching and enjoy the rest of your day.